The young master of the plutocracy won the second place in the school's final exams. He got the second best grade in the whole school. But he didn't feel happy at all and was even angry, because the one who won the first place was no one else. It was the son of his family's butler, whom he despised the most. This made the plutocrat's son very unhappy. But more than that, he didn't know what to tell his father. As expected, when he returned home, when his father found out that he had lost to the butler's son by a single point, his face became extremely gloomy. Then he scolded him mercilessly for being a useless punk. Why else would he lose to Jack over and over again? The young master of the plutocracy was speechless and could only pick up his school bag and walk out the door. Mrs. Zaibatsu couldn't stand it any longer and blamed her husband for being too hard on her son. After all, it's only middle school. There's no need to put so much pressure on the boy. But the chairman asked Mrs. Zaibatsu if she knew the difference between a lion and a wolf and said that a well-fed lion can't beat a wolf. When the young master of the family heard this, he paused in his steps for a moment. He understood that his father was trying to tell him that a lion without the will to kill and pursue will become weak and will definitely be defeated by a wolf. It's the same with people. If they live too comfortably, they'll never move forward. That's why the young tycoon left the house, still trying to figure out what his father meant by his words. But when he looked up, he saw the butler praising Jack for being better than he was. This made the plutocrat, who was already jealous of Jack, furious and walked over and sat in front of the father and son. Then he ordered the butler to bring him a glass of water. But when the butler brought him the water, he poured it on the floor without saying a word. Then he asked the butler to pour him another glass. But he did the same thing the second time. By this time, the butler and Jack could tell even if they were stupid. The young master of the plutocracy was deliberately trying to make things difficult for them. The butler dared not say anything, but went to pour another glass of water. But Jack couldn't bear to see his father working so hard, so he picked up the empty cups and went to the villa to pour water for Mr. Zaibatsu himself. But his trembling hands and the way he tried to take a deep breath all reveal how angry he is at the moment. But he didn't want to cause trouble for his father, so he had no choice but to endure until he brought the water to the plutocrat. When he saw the plutocrat pouring water on his report card in front of him and mocking his father for being a lowly servant of his family forever, Jack couldn't hold back any longer and punched. The butler rushed to stop him and pulled his son to the side. Seeing that Jack wanted to go forward to beat the plutocrat's young master, the butler was in a hurry and slapped him hard. Jack then calmed down and couldn't believe that his father would hit him. The butler regretted it, but he had to do it. Otherwise the chairman would not let Jack go. For this reason, the butler fell on his knees in front of Mr. Zaibatsu and begged him to forgive Jack. Looking at his father's humble appearance, Jack was so angry and heartbroken that he ran to the top of the mountain and shouted frantically to vent his emotions. The chairman found out about the incident and learned that his precious son, whom he had grown up with, had been beaten by Jack. He hit the butler with a golf club, and Jack saw the scene when he came back from school. Jack felt his heart breaking as his father fell to the ground in agony. But this time he didn't come forward. He waited until he was back in his room to give his injured father some medicine. He had the courage to say what he wanted. He wanted to move away from here with his father to live in another place. But his father rejected him without hesitation. Jack was puzzled and couldn't understand why his father insisted on staying even though he had been beaten to death. Seeing his son so sad, housekeeper also feel bad, but he didn't know how to tell Jack. He disobeyed the chairman's order. And gave Anna, the daughter of the plutocrat's wife, to a friend in the countryside to raise. He couldn't leave without being hunted down by the chairman. But what he didn't expect was Anna, whom he sent away, became friends with the chairman's daughter. When Anna appeared in the chairman's house, the housekeeper was shocked. He was afraid that the chairman would find out that Anna was still alive. Then his and Jack's lives would be in jeopardy. So at night, when Anna left the chairman's house, the butler quietly followed Anna. He found Anna's foster father and asked him why he was still here and ordered him to take Anna away. But the adoptive father told the butler he owed a lot of money to loan sharks and his wife's third child was about to be born, so he had nowhere else to go. The housekeeper can only resort to the second best, lying that the chairman hates strange children and asking the foster father to keep an eye on Anna and not to let Anna go to the chairman's house again. The butler then played the emotional card and said that he was also living under a false roof and hoped that the foster father wouldn't make things difficult for him. After hearing this, the foster father felt very strange, but still agreed. But when he returned home, he found out from Anna the chairman didn't hate her at all and was very kind to her. This made his father wonder. He couldn't understand why the housekeeper was so afraid of Anna going to the chairman's house and why she lied to him.